All right, we're back another week. Julius and Shantae, our Black Media, and we're on the Watch Dogs at noon. I'm Robert Bryant, and we have, who are you, pretty lady?
I'm Shantae McLaughlin.
And then we found this old guy playing golf earlier. What's your name, sir?
I'm Lee Elder.
Yeah, yeah, Lee May from Decatur. But no, y'all. So this morning, this is a shout out to Maxine Waters, reclaiming my time. And Shantae, you have inspired a conversation, and I kind of wanted to spin off of the last two pieces we talked about when Carlton was with us. But how do we reclaim our time in our communities? And so I'll just open up with that. Who wants to take a first hit at that? At that?
I'm thinking go.
I was ready for Julius to go.
But wait a minute, Jules. Before we go there, we see earrings and smiles. Somebody's in a good mood. You look gorgeous.
Your hair out and everything.
That's because my child was playing with my ponytail, and I've been brushing and brushing and brushing to not look like Shaka Khan. So that's where the earrings are from.
Well, you look great. So go ahead. I just wanted to give you a compliment.
Thank you, guys.
If only you could sing.
Oh my gosh. All of my music industry contacts, if I could sing, I'd retire both of y'all. But that's not the gift that God gave me. So I want
technology.
I want. Oh my gosh. This okay, so that's a good point. Technology. So I am going to reclaim my own gifts, talents, and skill sets without artificial intelligence. But they've been doing those artificial intelligence communities now and testing out artificial intelligence. Here we have in Atlanta, cop cities being built, and people are protesting it. The mayor's selling out. But it's like, is this coming from these artificial intelligence cities that they built and that they were testing out during the time that most of us were in the house and stuff like that, instead of being out and about in the communities? So with reclaiming our time in our communities, like, there's so much that goes into this conversation. Like, how do we reclaim the fact that when you go into a Walmart or a Kroger's or any Publix, and you have the self checkout that's taking people out of employment? How do we reclaim the fact that we still have the 13th Amendment slavery laws here in Georgia, where people mad about these justice impacted individuals doing the work that they wish that they could do, but they're not getting paid? That's slavery. How do we reclaim the fact that in places like Texas, they still got men on horses with guns pointing at Black and brown people who are out picking cotton? Like, where do we have those conversations at? So in reclaiming our time in our communities, we got to start looking at this public policy, justice impacted individuals. We have to start looking at reintegration policies, not just for people who are impacted by the carceral system, but by our veterans, our homeless. I met this girl the other day. Half of her face was tattooed. Let me know that she'd probably been trafficked at some point in her life. So it's like, how do we reclaim all of this? Or do we just let it be?
Well, reclaiming our communities. We had a meeting yesterday with a bunch of guys. Well, it wasn't attended very well, but at the next meeting, we're going to have more people, because each one of the 6 of us in there has to bring one more or 2 more. So it'll be 12 to 18 people. And it starts with us reclaiming our community. You can't reclaim anything unless you start it. You can't. It has to be a starting point, a focal point for where you say, okay, it starts right now and I'm a part of it, and this is where it's going to start at, and I'm going to be a part of it. And I try to tell people this all the time. We could talk about the issues all day. We know what they are. We have to start addressing them, and we have to start addressing them now. People want to get in these rooms and they want to talk, I don't have time to talk. I got time for action. We need to be able to pool our monies. We need to be able to pool our resources. We need to be able to pool our individual skill sets. Everything that that's not a good look.
I know.
Everything that we are doing in the community, we need to be able to do together. It's all about unity. It's all about unity. Unity is what's going to get us wherever. Every other race on this planet is unified. They're all together. They might not seem like it, but when they leave out of that room, they are together. We're the only race on the planet that isn't. We're the only race on the planet fighting each other. And it starts with us. We got to be able to say what we're going to do and where we're going to take us. We got to start trusting each other again. They have put this thing in our mind to not trust each other. And we don't trust each other. We think that if we put our monies together, somebody's going to run off with it. You know, there's no contracts. Yeah, those are the old days. Things are different now. You put people in there where they go to jail now if they bother the money. It's all kind of safeguards for you to be able to say, I can go into business. We could build a black hotel here. We could do things here and build a black Wall Street like Atlanta has here. But we have to start trusting each other. Until we start doing that, it's a no-go. But we have started here again.
Well, I know last week we kind of, in Julius, when Carlton will be back, he's cruising right now in the ocean. But I want to go back to something we talked about last week, and then I want to tie in something with Clarence Thomas. So give me a minute, y'all. I got to write my notes because I forget. But self-healing. We as a culture have to do a lot of self-healing. Trauma from slavery, trauma from picking on each other, trauma from the brown bag test that we used to do. A lot of trauma that we carry and we need to heal from. And a lot of us need to step back and say, you know what? I forgive my race for doing this to me. Case in point, Clarence Thomas. Julius, I looked at that documentary in part this morning, and people want to realize, why does he act the way that he does? Why is he so anti-black? Well, when you realize the trauma he went through, it doesn't give him an excuse, but he has not forgiven his own race for what they've done to him. We have colorism in our community, and it hurts people. It hurts people. I talk about the privilege all the time I carry. I've carried the privilege of not having to deal with the brown bag test, but he didn't. And so that's a lot of his pain. So self-healing. Then we got to get past this self-righteous attitude that I've made it, or I'm at this level and I have the ability to look down on people. In fact, I'm running for office right now. It's no secret. And one of the neighborhoods I'm running in has this complex that they can feel like they can look down upon people. And that's just not right. We're all in this together, and all of us are just one check away from being out there on the streets. So we got to get past that as well. And then self-sabotage. I think a little bit you talked about, Julius, is, we have this fear of me and you and Shantae going to business together, that, I might run away with all the funds or do something wrong. Well, we got to start, again, like you said, trusting one another and realize that, what is it going to take for us to be cohesive? So I think self-healing, self-righteousness, and self-sabotage are things that really cripple us and get us away from reclaiming anything that we own or have been taken from us.
That's good. And you said a lot. Brown paper bag test, we may not have had to take that, but I know I got into plenty of fights for being light-skinned and having just shoulder length hair. Wasn't even down my back. That was enough for people to want to fight me. Oh, somebody's boyfriend said you were cute, so now I want to fight. And me, I was with it. But that's not a good thing. That's not a good thing, and colorism impacts our communities in so many different ways. I didn't even know that there was a conversation around me being Puerto Rican and Black until I ran for city council in East Point in 2021. And I'm not even Puerto Rican like that. Like, my great grandfather's Puerto Rican. That's like somebody saying that their grandmother's white and they're chocolate in complexion. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody's sitting here saying, well, you must be white then. But then if you have a little bit of redness, then now, oh, you can't identify. You one of them. Like, what's one of them? I get discriminated against. I get I had to tell a white lady one time, we were in the elevator. I said, nobody want that cheap ass bag that you got. You can unclutch it now. And because she started clutching her bag when she was standing next to me in the elevator. I was like, my bag costs more than yours. Nobody wants your little cheap ass $25 bag. Unclutch it.
I know you would tell her.
I know she did. And walked away like ain't nothing happened.
She was like, I told her husband, I said, I don't know why you got your wife clutching that bag. Go buy a real bag, you know.
And she didn't have to be like, Lord, get out the elevator. Just get out the
elevator. But I was offended. Like, because I'm black and I step in the elevator, you gonna clutch your bag? Like, ain't nobody want your bag, lady. And then I remember I was off my mental health medicine and I got into a fight, y'all. I actually got an aggravated assault charge for this one. And they made it go away because they knew that they were in the wrong. This white lady, she said, and I remember what I had on. I was still a size 2. I had my little bald head shaved and my little long sundress and my tie-dye button-down shirt, my cute little heels, and my little MAC makeup and lipstick was popping. And the lady gonna say, oh, I like your sundress. I said, thank you. So I have some manners, even when in psychosis. And I said, thank you. And the lady says to me, oh, you must be one of them Yankees or something. After she complimented me on my dress. So I said, oh, you must be one of them, you know, and I said what I said. And she said, it started with a C because she called me a Yankee and I knew she was calling it to me in a derogatory way. And so I called her something that, you know, is like a wafer. And I said, you must be one of them wafers or something.
Not a wheat thing, though.
Yeah. And so she walks past me and goes and coughed on my food. So I threw my drink at her. And
it's not funny, y'all, but it is funny now.
And she swung at me and I swung at her. I drugged that lady all over that restaurant. And but I don't feel bad for it even today because that lady spit in my food and called me a Yankee. Like that has its place too. You know, like all of this Yankee talk, just because I grew up in the, you know what I mean? Like, so the colorism conversation is one thing, but when white privilege gets to the point where they feel that they can just be that disrespectful and rude and spit on your food, like they ain't about to catch that ass whooping that day. That's just uncalled for and unacceptable. Like you do not spit on someone's food. And then, Julius, why are you looking at me like that? You know I'm serious and I mean it.
Yeah, I know she took a haircut in that day.
Oh my God. I like to take that lady and drug her. I literally drug her across. I don't know why it wasn't on World Star. It probably was. I was on World Star one time in my psychosis at McDonald's, praise dancing and speaking in tongues. Yeah, it was on World Star. But anyways, that lady spit in my food and called me a Yankee. That was just unacceptable. That is unacceptable behavior. So when do we start talking about that? When, you know, I posted something on Facebook and it was a long post, but I was talking about when my white friends refer to me as their black friend. That's racism too. If I'm your little black friend, if you got to identify me by color, that says a lot. I'm probably the only black friend you have, and you keep me around because I don't assimilate. And that allows you to say that you actually have real black friends. You know, like, and we were talking about that. My 1B in my master's program came from a professor who told me that I probably have to pitch to Chad. I said, who's Chad? She said, the blonde-haired, blue-eyed guy that controls most of the finance. I go to a HBCU. I said, I'm not assimilating to get no money in Atlanta. All these black people that control the narrative with finances in Atlanta, and you want me to assimilate to get some money to a Chad? Chad probably assimilating to get some money from us. Like, what's wrong with this lady? So she gave me a B. But anyways, that was my little rant. That was my little rant. And Clarence Thomas, I agree. A lot of people are impacted by colorism, not just because we don't know what it was like growing up in his household with him having to pass the brown paper bag test. We don't know what it was like with him being a Harvard graduate and his son and affirmative action and blah, 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 blah. And we don't know what it's like for a lot of people, period. The best assumption that you can make about anybody is that you don't know them. Because the reality is most people don't even know themselves. So how do you expect them to show you who they are? If we don't know 99% of what we think that we know about people, then it allows for grace, it allows for mercy, and it allows for us to let a lot of people off the hook with thinking that they're disappointing us, when really the reality is they don't even know themselves. So how do we expect them to show us the real them when they don't know who the real them is? So there's that. And you said one more thing. Oh, run it off with the bag. I can promise you. Yeah, the self-sabotage. Self-sabotage looks all different ways. We self-sabotage when we stay with them same friends who aren't growing, and we know it. You stay with them saying it's one thing to be loyal. And someone once told me, they said, Shantae, you're a very loyal person, and you need to stop letting your loyalty be your slavery. And it's the truth. So when you start ascending and your friends are here and you feel like you're in a cage, it's because you have an anchor on your ankle, and it's called your circle, and you're trying to bring everybody along, and everybody don't want to come along. Some people want to sleep in until 3 o'clock every single Saturday. On Sunday, go to the barbecue, tote a pistol, shoot at somebody, and you mad because you running for city council and they don't want to be your friend anymore. They don't want to be your friend. They'll vote for you. They'll tell people to vote for you. Oh, my boy, he doing real good. Go vote for him. But you're trying to bring these people along, and then you mad when you get in office and people start calling you a Clarence Thomas or trying to bring you down. Everybody ain't meant to go along. And that was a tough lesson that I had to learn. And it's okay being the dumbest person in the room, even when you're a smart person. Because if you're the smartest person in every room, that means that your circle is too small and they're not elevating you. And it's okay for us to collaborate. We collaborate. We ain't got time to sit here and figure it all out. I had a white Republican life coach one time who told me, he said, I let people do what they love to do. So if you don't love doing something, hire someone. That's how we scale. We spend a lot of time trying to grow these businesses. And like, see, Louise, I'm starting to focus more on my trauma healing clinic, because I know the only way for me to scale my business, I have to grow my business, which means I'm just getting all these contracts and it looks like me working 4 and 5 jobs, which is just a job, instead of scaling. To scale, you have to be able to hire other people. So when you don't want to take out your trash, guess what you do? You put your kids on payroll and hire them. Right now, they're about to raise the limit so I'm just giving some information now. They're about to raise the limit for youth 18 and under to $12,500 that you can write off. Gregory is on payroll. He is 6 years old. He is on payroll through ADP. ADP has a whole service for minority-owned businesses where they give you referral fees just for referring other businesses. Bryce is on payroll. So when they say both my kids on my payroll.
I ain't on payroll. I'm
I don't run payroll every week, but I just say all of that to say we got to start educating ourselves and not being afraid to share information and knowledge. And when we do share information and knowledge, if I tell you I'm a consultant and you actually call me at 9 o'clock at night and you want information and knowledge, be prepared to pay my consultant fee. Respect it. But when I'm sharing information and knowledge, just because I choose to share information and knowledge, just take the information and knowledge and go do what you're going to do with it and share it with somebody else.
That's right.
Well,
share a comment.
That is true. I had a meeting Tuesday or Wednesday. What day was it? One day this week, Charlie and we were talking to a candidate, and we were telling the candidate we did a lot of stuff for free, not almost for free, but that was for us to get in the door to change the narrative. And we changed many governments around Chatham County, and we know our worth. So we need to get paid and compensated just like those white companies that do the exact same things that we do that can't even do it better than us. And
right.
We just happen to be the best in Chatham County, and we need to be paid as such. We can't keep doing things for free because people will think that they can always come to you and get that cheap price, but they'll go over there and pay that person 3 times what they're paying you, and it's not fair. So you got to put your work, you got to understand your value, put it out there, and people will have to pay it because they're trying to get into those positions, and you can help elevate them to it. But getting back to our topic, we as a people just need to understand that it's time for us to come together. It's time for us to be on the same page. It's time for us to stop all the fighting. It's time for us to trust each other so that we can pool our resources so that we can do things. They don't need to gentrify they're gentrifying our communities because we are allowing it. We can pool our monies and buy those same properties and do exactly what they're doing with it. Why, you're only talking gentrification because they're white. We can gentrify our own areas.
That's right.
We can clean those apartments up and those houses up, renovate them and have them as Airbnbs and as rental properties. We can do that. But we're letting somebody else do it, and all we want to do is sit back and cry and complain.
That's right.
It's more than just crying and complaining. It's time for us to exert some action. I don't like to go to meetings just to talk. I don't. I told them last night in the meeting I was in last night, I won't be here talking. We either going to be working on solutions or I won't be in there.
That's right.
I don't have time to wait on nobody to do nothing. We got to do it, or I'm going to do it on my own. Might take longer, but I'm going to get it done. That's just how I am. I'm tired of talking. All we do is talk and complain. We know what the complaints are. We know what the issues are. Let's come to some resolutions. Let's get some things done. Let's work on it. And that's what we got to do. We got to reclaim our community by being unified. It's about unity.
That's right. So y'all, we're gonna hit a commercial break, and then when we come back, Julius, I think you're doing something now, and I love to highlight solutions. And so what we're gonna do when we come back, I definitely want you to talk about the magazine and how you plan to expand that, because I think that's a way of tackling the issue. So we're gonna do our first commercial break. We're gonna do 2 today, y'all. The city of Savannah has always been known for its African American culture, especially in the 5th District, where I live. Over 50 years ago, my mother and father developed a home in the 5th District, in Liberty City to be exact. And since that time, we have lost our voice and struggled to find the really great leadership that makes us really proud. Our culture, our heritage, and our land have been questioned. But if you join me, Robert Bryant, next year in 2023, we can get to work and believe in change that we can all be proud of. So join me, let's believe in the change, and together we will make the District 5 stronger. Thank you. All right, Better Savannah and Corporate City Review.
Hello, Savannah.
Hello, Savannah.
Hello, Savannah.
Yeah, well, that's our magazines. Hello, Savannah. This month's issue, you can find all of magazines, every issue that we've done since last October, I believe, or September or October. This is the front cover of Hello, Savannah. You can go to atrmediagroup.com and check out this month's issue. atrmediagroup.com. atrmediagroup.com. And put that in the thing for me, Robert. atrmediagroup.com. www.atrmediagroup.com.
Okay.
And you can get this is our July issue for Hello Savannah. That's the cover, and this is the cover for
the Port City Review.
Port City Review, and it has Frederick Douglass on this one, Malcolm X on the other one. We got great reads inside, and if you want to advertise with it, just give us a call so we can put you in it. It goes out to 56,000 people in the Chatham County area, 50,000 in Savannah, 6,500 more in the Port Wentworth, Garden City, Pula area. So we're putting it out there. We just started 6 months, 7 months, and we're trying to get that information out there. We hope to have Atlanta. Matter of fact, we're going to Atlanta this weekend coming. Well, next weekend. It's already the weekend now. We're going there. The 15th and 16th. Shantae, Robert, me, a bunch of us will be in Atlanta watching. We'll be in Atlanta at Black Wall Street, the new Black Wall Street at the Old Stonecrest Mall. We'll be there talking to some of the vendors and taking pictures and talking with them. And we'll also be, well, there's a lot of people watching today. We'll also be having a meeting with about 12 of us that's on the team. 2 or 3 can't make it because of other obligations, but we will be there talking to other people and trying to formulate our next move forward. Shantae has a meeting that she wants me to have with what was his name?
Sherry, Hot 2100.
Yeah, that's a radio station, Hot 2100. Yeah,
I'm an on-air talent with him as well, and he wants to partner and give you as much publicity as you'd like. Okay. And it's an app that's that you can download anywhere in the world. And so it's new, but here in Atlanta, I think the numbers are about 50,000 in the.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah. So I think what's important as we tie this back to our topic is how that particular the magazines and the work we're doing is reclaiming our narrative. We know in major mainstream media markets, WSB, WTOC, E93, these white-owned, Viacom-driven companies don't tell our narrative. In fact, they present us in a very terrible light. And so now we have a mechanism through our Black media to tell our own narrative, to raise our own voices. In fact, Julius, I know you had an edition where you talked about the powerful Black women and their impact on society. And so I just want to kind of tie it back to what we're talking about you talk about solutions. That's the way that we reclaim our narrative. Shantae, you have your small business where you look at and then she leaves. But that's how we claim our narrative, is doing things like that. And what are some other things that, I know you have some other things on the horizon, but I know through your political consulting firm is getting officials elected that are going to raise our values. So that's kind of how I want to tie it back in.
Where's Shantae went?
I don't know. I'm about to check on her now.
Oh, she lost her signal.
Okay.
She lost her signal. But anyway, with our meeting the other day, I'm sorry I was distracted because I had some.
I was just talking about how the magazine and some of the work you're doing with political candidates now gives us a chance to tell our own narrative and reclaim it that way, instead of complaining about the mainstream media and how they make us look bad.
Yeah, and that's what it is. The media, the mainstream media, does something to our community that downgrades our community. There's nothing never positive. If you see them in our community, it's never nothing that they're doing that's highlighting the achievements. All they're talking about, and they're with that stereotyping our community with nothing but trouble. Of course, there's a shooting. There's something, but you have to look at, these are marginalized, underserved communities, and we don't always have what we're supposed to have in these communities, as far as the police, as far as the economic drivers, as far as the cleanliness. You make it look bad so that one day they can gentrify it, and that's what it looks like they're trying to do. They're just like the projects that they did, Yamacraw. They let Yamacraw go down so that they can tear it down. Yamacraw is being kept up, had 5 and 6 people out there working every day, cleaning it up, making sure it was good. Then all of a sudden you don't see nobody out there cleaning it up. You don't see nothing for 2 or 3 years. They let it go into ruin so they can say, oh, it's a blight. Now we need to tear it down. But where are you going to put all these people at? Well, where are you putting these people after you displace them? That's the problem.
I think nationwide, what we have a problem with, and that's, you have what I consider, now we have 3 levels of individuals in the Black community. You have those who, what I call are poverty stricken, meaning that the government and those around them, their communities, have placed them in a space and where they find it difficult to escape poverty, and that can be through low wages, so forth, so on. Then you have the middle class and working families, and those are individuals who work day to day or have what you call career positions, and they live their lives in a little more privilege. And then you have those who think they've made it, what we call the elite, are those who believe that they have amassed some type of wealth and security to where they can escape the plight of the white man. Well, if we all work together, because we're all on the same page, we're all in the same position, we all have the same struggles. They might just look different because of the resources you have available to you. But we've got to learn to work together. My father and I said this in a lot of episodes, used to pray that God put enough on this earth if we just learn to share with one another. In the Black community, ain't none of us got it made. You know, just because you got 6 figures and I might have 4 don't mean that you got something going on different. It just means that you got a matter of time before you got a little length more time before your generations run out. So we've got to learn to work together, because somewhere down the line, we are still in the same boat. You know what I'm saying? And one thing we have not learned in the Black community yet, if we don't educate this child that's living in poverty, if we don't get the resources to get this child out of poverty and to make sure we take care of our brothers, be our brother's keeper, that's going to impact all of us eventually. You know what I'm saying? I think last night in the conversation I was there with you, and that helping people to realize that, you know, that child in that family in poverty is just as significant as the next. Because guess what's going to happen? Just because you think you live in a neighborhood and it doesn't impact you, it does impact you. It eventually will impact you. That's why we have such a high property tax. That's why we have high issues on high prices on groceries, because all of this stuff kind of works together. Point of the story is this: if we don't learn to work together as brothers and sisters, we're going to perish as fools. And Dr. King has told us that, and it still lives true today.
That's true. That's true. That is so true. And, what we have to do is these meetings so that we can move forward. We are not moving forward worth a nickel. It is it's a smudge or a dark spot on our community, because we're the only race on the planet that seems to not want to get along, that are complacent with what we're the situation that we're already in. And we don't have to be like this if we just say, okay, Robert, 10 of your friends, Julius, 10 of my friends, we're going to get together and we're going to start saving our money. You had 3 brothers, no, there's 5 guys started doing it a few years ago. I think I posted it somewhere, and they all put $50 in a week for 2 years until they saved enough money to buy their first piece of property. After their first piece of property, they went and brought another piece of property. They flipped that, and these guys are doing great now. This is how you build a business. You got to stop being scared. You got to take that risk to say, okay, you know, what's $500 for me to put into this with 100 other guys so that we can say we got enough money to go buy a piece of property. That's the risk that I'm taking to try to start a company. You know, is different stocks that, it's all kind of stuff that you can get into. If you don't want to renovate houses, you can start a little group, investment group, that you might have somebody that's very good in the stock market that can buy the right stocks for the group. You know, it's all kind of stuff that we could do to build wealth. We just don't, because they institutionalize us to think that we should not trust each other. And as long as we don't trust each other, we're going to be in a sunken pit, you know?
Well, it goes. I agree with you there. I think I like what you were saying. What you were talking about was creating opportunities for wealth gaining, gaining wealth. Last night there was a powerful thing said, and people don't realize this. In this world we live in now, especially in the United States, two things that will always be the most impactful and most serious thing that we can use as resources to have upward mobility. That's power and economics. And if you don't have one or the other or both, you pretty much are lost in the game. In talking about reclaiming our communities, you know, there are a number of communities. I look at Charleston, South Carolina. I'll look at Washington, D.C. I'll look at New Orleans. I'll look at a number of cities where what you see is they have allowed, you talked about this a moment ago, they have allowed those communities to be ridden with crime. They have not done anything to impact that crime in a negative, in a positive way, to lower that crime or to address it. Then you allow communities to fall apart. You don't offer resources to seniors or those who are living in poverty to upgrade those homes in the area. And so what you do is you allow those areas to fall apart. In particular, New Orleans with Katrina, you allow those communities to just dissolve and not pour any resources in there. And guess what happens? You know what? Now they're on the market, or now they're in a way where those people lose the property, and folks that don't look like us go and buy them up. What we see here in Savannah, which is really disturbing, is you raise the property taxes to a point where seniors and people in poverty lose their homes and you auction them. So what we've got to do is either, like you said, pool our funds together, our resources, go and acquire those properties, go and acquire that land, or what we do is we develop a trust fund or some type of funding to go help Miss Mabel save her home, to go help this single mom of 4 kids save their home. But what we have done, again, with this self-sabotage, but those that live up here who think they've arrived, they don't want to share. They don't want to invest because they think they're better than. Well, you're not better than, because sooner or later, like I said, generations down the road, you got grandchildren that one day it's going to hit them. You know, you may not see the karma today, but it's going to hit you later on. So it's, you know, I like what you said about offering this idea of we got to learn to work together and identify ways to either A, acquire our rightful property on our own, or B, help our brothers and sisters keep that land and their property.
Mm-hmm. That's correct. That's absolutely correct. And those are the things that we got to do. And it starts also, Robert, with putting the right people in office who brings that type of information. Because see, people sometimes don't listen to the community activists. They'll listen to the elected officials because they see them on TV every day. They see them out in the spotlight, even though the community activist is always somewhere in doing things. We need to make sure that everybody sees that the community elected officials are there talking to the people, giving them the same ideas that you just espoused. They need those same ideas, because if they hear it from an elected official, they're going to receive it better. Then maybe we can go out and do things. We can have those workshops. We can have those community town halls where we can say, okay, it's time for us to regroup. We're too far behind for as long as we've been here. The first people on, even though our DNA says we'll be the last ones here also, we're the first ones here, but we're lagging behind everybody else. And we got to bring ourselves up to do the things that we need to have done in our community. It's going to take us, not just saying and talking about it. We got to go into our pockets. If you can't put no money in, you got to be able to put that skill set in. You know, you might have a certain trade that you might can do. It's value in all of us. We just got to be able to bring it out. And we all, you know, and that's what they used to do back in the day. But today, we are so far apart. Air conditioning keeps you in the house. You don't want to go out it. If it's too hot outside, if it's raining, you don't want to go nowhere. We have to get away from that mindset.
All right. We're going to do our second commercial break. And then, Shantae, we're going to come back and we'd love to hear from you. You'll just start us off in a different direction. right, Shantae, you're back. Kind of, what we've been talking about today. I just want to see if there was a question or a thought that you had on your mind that would kind of get us in a different thought-provoking way, but on topic.
Okay, so I missed the last 10 minutes of the conversation.
Well,
No, I didn't. I was offline. And when I came back in, I heard Julius talking about, well, not even that. Starting off talking about the Clarence Thomas with Julius talking about us all working together and everything else. What stood out for me is public policy. Like, you have your Robert Bryant, you have your campaign yard sign behind you, but people really need to get involved with public policy. They need to, like, there's city council meetings, there's county commissioners meetings, there's alderman meetings. We have to get involved with public policy. If you don't want to run for office, you can be a lobbyist. It's $25 to register any name reservation through the Secretary of State in Georgia. It's $100 to actually incorporate. That's what you have to do to be a business. That's what you have to do to be a lobbyist. So we just got to get involved. And when it comes to our communities, there's Keep Atlanta Beautiful, but that comes from Keep America Beautiful. So there's probably a Keep Savannah Beautiful. Start organizing neighborhood cleanups. I've done about 6 neighborhood cleanups in the city of Atlanta, in some of the worst neighborhoods, neighborhoods where you see dead bodies laying outside on the street. So if you driving by and you get tired of seeing the trash and the litter and everything else, do something about it. It's not costing you anything but a Saturday afternoon. So I just think we got to get involved with public policy.
Mr. Parks said, united we stand and divided we fall. And that's the truth. And we were having this conversation yesterday, and one of the gentlemen there, and we were trying to, from our experience, tell him what we thought. And it all starts with us in that small group. Nothing is going to change overnight. We have to make that effort to interject ourselves into the situation. We can't just keep being dormant and hiding from our responsibilities. Elected officials, especially, they have to. We have to say that we are holding them accountable so that they can do what they're supposed to do in the communities. We're doing what we're supposed to do with this platform. We're doing what we're supposed to do with the magazines. We're on Roku TV. Our Roku TV channel is Our Black Media. You can go and put and watch us on Roku TV. We got every social media platform. We're sending this message out to people. We've never had this type of opportunity and access to people with the telephone, with the new, with this telephone is a computer, with the access to all the social media platforms, with all the meetings that we're having now. We have, with the mail outs that you can do with these cards and everything. You get into somebody's house and give them information. So people are getting the information. We just got to try to get them to understand that it can be done. And we have to show them. We lead by example. When we start this group that we went to the meeting yesterday with Robert and I and a group of other guys, when we start this group, we need to make sure that we are always showing people what we're doing. We don't want to be like those other organizations who are just for show. We want to make sure that people see we did it. We're going to show you how to do it.
That's right.
You can start your own group or come into this group. And that's what it's all about.
And if I may add, so Shantae, you talked about being engaged as a citizen. Julius talked about collaborating with what we want to talk about. What I want to talk about is so important to me, and that is Black men, we got to mentor our young Black brothers, and Black sisters, you got to mentor our young Black girls.
Hell no.
Hold on. I ain't done. Hold on. Yes, you do. It's our responsibility.
No.
Shantae, none of us made it here on our own. and ain't none of us got here and
You
just
better
all
follow
of
me on social media. I drop a lot of gems. No.
Well,
Let me tell you
I'm
something. Let me
offering
tell
my
you something.
opinion.
You cannot.
If you don't like it, you don't like it.
You cannot
Let me
push and
finish.
pull.
Finish this.
You cannot push and pull because as a single woman
I'm not saying
with
that.
children,
I'm
I get
not
so
saying
tired
that.
of these damn black women saying the same thing. I need a man to pump my gas. Guess what?
That's
I'm
not
letting
what
men
I'm
pump my
saying.
gas too.
If you let me
But
finish,
no, because these women got to wake up. God gave you your gifts, talents, and skills. And yes, I'm a single woman, but guess what? The right man out there will lead me. Men lead. These women got to stop being so damn docile and scared of their own power, as black women especially. And I get so tired of these people calling me, can you help this person? Can you help this person? Can you mentor this person? Wait, I said mentor. I ain't talking about just the help ones. The mentor ones, I got this business idea. And then they want you to carry out their whole business. The whole thing is these women got to step up to the plate. Stop waiting for a man. They looking at me like it's something wrong because I got 2 millionaire baby daddies, and they like, well, I just settle for a man that make $10,000 a month.
I'm not saying that.
Don't get out there and get it how you live, and use your gifts, your talents, and your skills, and pay it forward to the next set of people, men and women, because it might be a man to receive some of my gifts before a woman, and it might be a young girl because I do pour in, and I don't have time for the competition. We are collaborating, and I got some good female friends now who collaborate. But as far as this mentoring, these women do not want. They're not like our parents.
Okay. Let me finish what I'm saying.
Okay, I'll let you finish it.
You know
I don't say you don't know. So if someone calls me talking about mentoring, I'm sending them to you. Okay.
So you know how I got here. You know how I'm developing a campaign. This guy's sitting right next to you. I don't know everything about campaigns, but I got a doctorate degree. I got a bachelor's degree in PR, but I had to learn to listen and be mentored. That's what I'm talking about. I don't know it all, and neither do these young brothers coming behind me. In fact, what I saw last week, which is I'm talking about mentoring, is not stopping and giving free services. Is I see a young brother, I need to pull aside and say, hey, you need to tighten up, son. We've got to do more of that. We have to, because if we don't, we lose. And I'll give you a great example. I passed by. So anytime I see a police car of white officers and black males, I'm likely going to stop because I'm not going to see another George Floyd happen. So I stopped, and what happened was they did the brother, in my opinion, they did the brother wrong because I ain't never heard no jaywalking charge. But anyway, when I got there, the young brothers, they all in the officer face like this and all that. I was able to say, get your ass over here and stand over here. I was able to tighten them up in the way I tighten them up. But if I had not done that, what could have happened? We could have had 3 males in jail instead of 1. And I also told the young man who was getting arrested to shut the hell up. But if we don't take the moment to do those types of things, we're going to continue to lose our black men and women to a system that wasn't even designed for us. What I've learned this week, and America designed to cripple and destroy us. The system of economics, the system of slavery still exists. The system of employment, the system of business ownership. All these systems are created to not help us win. And so we've got to be able to pull our story. Native Americans, they do a good job of storytelling. We've got to start doing more of that, because what we want to do is, I done made it. Now let me go over here and sit down and enjoy my money. No, that ain't how we're supposed to be. Because guess what? Our elders didn't do it. Our ancestors didn't do it. So we've got to continue to do more of that and stop being afraid. We talked about this on the album. Well, they might kill you. They might shoot you in the head. You got to be careful with that. Why are we scared of our own people?
I don't give a hell. I say hell instead of damn or anything else about any of that.
We argue all the time that we hug.
I am not mentoring any woman or male. I'm saying that. I'm not mentoring. They better follow me and follow my tidbits, because the reality is, and I'm saying this because I'm at that place in my life where I'm looking for my next level of growth, and you cannot push and pull. And when I sit there in the room with these women, and these women say things to me like, oh yeah, you're so inspiring, you're so empowering, I just want to know some of what you know, and you share the knowledge, and then out of nowhere they're like, all these independent women, all these women acting like they don't need a man, all these women trying to be men. Listen here, bitch, I'm not trying to be a man because I pump my own gas and I pay my own bills. I'm trying to make sure that I keep a roof over my head and my kids taken care of, clean, and off welfare. And if you can't get with that, then you just can't get with it. But I'm trying to stay sane. I'm trying to elevate myself so that I can sit there and help the whole community. But you sitting here mad at me because I might have dated a ball player at some point, and you think that you need, well, some of us need $10,000. Well, go back to the plantation then. Ho, that's what they're gonna do. They're gonna hold you out, because when you go to some of these different things with these athletes and entertainers, when they pissing on women for 10,000, when they doing all this crazy stuff, and now you having threesomes and fivesomes and tensomes, and you can't even show your kids your different videos from back in the day, or tell your mama what you did to get that light bill money. You mad at me? No, because I'm choosing something different. Yes, and I said it. And so it's like these women need to stop playing small. They need to educate themselves and start where they are and do something from where they are. If you want, I don't care what it is. And I support, I love, ain't nothing as beautiful as a black man. I love black men. I might love black men a little too much. My accountant told me I need to sign a non-disclosure agreements when I sleep with them, because the last one was trying to extort me for $3,000. So when I say that, I say this to say, these women, it's like they become so basic when it comes to going out and just making something of themselves. Like, God gave us all talents. Your talent might be beading, your talent might be jewelry making, your talent might be candle making, your talent might be speaking, your talent might be graphics. Whatever your talent is, that's what you should be doing. That's the gift that you should be walking in. Don't go sitting here getting mad, hating on the next woman because you see her with this or you see her with that. Every Prada and Gucci bag wasn't bought with money. Some of it was bought but with the pocketbook between some of these women's legs. So stop competing with each other and just be, like. And so when you ask me to mentor some of these women, where they're at, I'm not there, because I'll sit there with my phone bill turned off before I go sell my body. And that's what I choose to do.
And you said a whole lot, and it should inspire somebody to understand, because I was in a line at Zaxby's last week, or one of the stores, and there was two young girls in front of me, and they were talking about they were going to the club to get their drink on. And I'm wondering, what the hell, they're in their 20s. They want to go to the club to get their drink. I'm ear hustling. I'm listening to them. They want to go to the club to get their
being nosy.
To get their, yeah, that's what I was being. And they go into the club to get their drink on. And then she said she was about to text somebody so he could cash app her something to pay her light bill. And I'm saying, she's talking about she going to the club, pay your damn light bill, save that money. You ain't got to go out. Put the kitchen lights on first.
That's how she gonna get the light bill paid. She gonna go twerk it. Carlton was talking about popping pee on the phone.
But it didn't make. I wanted to say something. Hey, I wanted to say something, but I know these kids will cuss you out in a New York minute. So I just, stayed in line and ordered my stuff and walked on out. But I know they will cuss you out. But I'm wondering, hell, if she just pulled, she ain't got to go out to the club paying $10 to get in, or whatever it is, the admission to get in. Then you got to buy drinks, and then you got to you're probably going to buy a new outfit, but your light bill ain't but $200, and you ain't got that to pay. What the hell?
That's because these kids aren't taught about math and finances. We aren't teaching math and finances in school. I have an economics class right now, healthcare and economics, and everybody in the damn class complaining. We didn't take economics 101. I get so tired of this foolishness. And I'm like, I took economics, so the class was easy. Well, I got a little higher than that with you. Okay, then the class wasn't that challenging. What you fussing about? Right? So I'm saying is to say, we aren't being taught $200 to pay your light bill. We start off at, don't you start brown, black, brown, because I got on my little $15 ponytail, so it could start a little cheaper than that too. But really, we gotta teach people, like, it's not that hard to make six figures. 2 jobs will get you 6 figures. learning to invest has been my challenge. So I talk to people like Robert, like I need to learn to invest. I go find life coaches. People get mad at me because I'll pay a white Republican to be my life coach. But guess what? He's 7 generations of wealth. Right now, I don't care about the fact, and this is gonna say something. The fact is, a lot of the white money that came through this country came off of Black people. So I can sit there and say, oh, well, he's 7 generations, but it originated from Black people. But guess what? That Black family that originated from, they're not 7 generations of wealth right now. So if I'm being present and being in the now, how to grow your money based off of a white man's economy. How do you sit there and get to the next level of thinking? Remy Abatrawi, 2:00, I'll be on his Can You Really Think and Grow Rich call. You know, where it's a self-made billionaire who lets you call in and ask questions about thinking. I share this stuff every week and nobody chimes in. Or they chime in. It was a football. Wait, I'll just say this part though. It was a football player on the call. It's other ways to make money in our community other than running a ball.
Yeah.
So y'all, what we gotta do?
What we need to do is bring that information into other groups so that we can use it. Okay, you got that information. What's wrong with the Our Black Media family you having that for us? And let's get on a Zoom so we can say, okay, well, Shantae, you got this information. Let's put it to work. Let's start these organizations. Let's start these organizations where we're pooling our resources so that we can do things. We can go. I was in Tuskegee, Alabama the other day. Huh? What's that?
It's time.
We ain't got no time restraints here. You're the only one got to go. We'll see you after a while.
When that's an agreement we made. That's the agreement we made.
Listen.
This ain't no 12 step meeting. We ain't start no time and end on time.
Okay, I'm just telling y'all. That's y'all not respecting y'all other co-hosts.
No, Robert.
It ain't about me.
We're giving information.
Hey, Shantae, how you? I'm gonna tell Carl.
We got you. We'll get with you. We'll see you later.
No, it's not about me. It was an agreement that Shantae and Carlton wanted to make. And
Carlton ain't on here right now.
Carlton ain't on here. This is our damn show. Nobody make no rules here but us. What you talking about?
How y'all gonna not respect y'all co-host?
He on vacation right now.
Yeah, that's disrespectful. But go ahead,
I was in Tuskegee, Alabama the other day. I rode by the college. First time I've ever been to Tuskegee in my life. Not one soul. I didn't see one living body at that college. Not one living body. I went around the other end and I saw God at the gate. That was the only person around the front entrance where I saw God. Nobody else was on that entire campus, and I went all the way around it because there's nothing there economically. The gas stations, everything were closed. They had one supermarket. You know, we could go to these places. They had a bunch of houses that were shut down. We could go to these places and invest in them. We could go there and buy property cheap and build up. All they're waiting is for it to be totally shut down, and so they can gentrify Tuskegee. That's all it is. So it's only 35 miles away from Montgomery. You know, they come in, there'd be a whole new town after a while. You know?
And I just want to say this part too with that affirmative action. This is something that one of my business partners let me know. Government contracts, because I've been a big fan of government contracts. Like they put set asides and they're free to get. It's free to get your government certifications. Your 8A, it's free to get your hub zone where you are in a predominantly Black area doing business. All of those are free to get, but there's government money that's like millions. What I mean by millions is like you might get a $25 million contract over 2 years. So I've started learning how to write these capacity statements or capability statements and partnering and collaborating with people I know who have been doing this with one of my companies. But the thing about it is, with this affirmative action, it reverses these government contracts. So it's shutting it down. So whereas you could get a government contract because you're a Black-owned male business before a white male business, even though your bid might be $5 million and his might be $2 million, but just because they're looking for a Black male to get the contract, this reverse affirmative action shuts that down. So we got to look this is what I mean by the public policy. I was talking to a white male recently, and we were talking about President Johnson and how in every community block grant, when you ask for new schools and when you ask for new potholes to be filled and things like that, you are also asking for the militarization of the police, because he put it in the community block grants that the police are to be militarized and provided with the with the different tools that the military had prior to. It's like a pass down. The military equipment gets passed down to the local police. And that came through Johnson. But he said, this is a white male who said this to me. He said, I feel as if it was a trick of the government to divide the black families. Because before this, the black families were running really strong. And most black parents, it was 2-parent households. And they were about to surpass white families in economics around the time of the civil rights. Black families, it was 2-parent household. They had the same mom and dad with the children, and they had a stronger socioeconomic base. And then with President Johnson, when he stepped in, he also brought in, like I said, the militarization of the police, but that judicial system and the prison system. And this came from a white male. So we got to put our differences to the side and have these difficult conversations, because they're not that difficult to have. But stop this damn assimilating. Like, they know when you talk. Hello, my name is Shantae. First of all, my name's Shantae. They know when you're talking like them. It don't even sound real. It sounds contrived. Be who you are, and just have these real conversations. Because when you have the Geralds that are white sharing with you information and knowledge from a white male standpoint and growing up around a bunch of black people, we aren't expecting them to assimilate. So why do we keep assimilating, and why do we keep not sharing this kind of knowledge? So, and if you know that your highest family wealth is 6 figures and you're trying to be a millionaire or a billionaire, why not start following the Warren Buffetts? But you don't have to take that money and put it into a white community. You can put it back into the black community. We got to change the way that we look at our money, our language, and it's different language for different things. Government contracts has a language. Academia world has a language. Streets have a language. Common sense has a language. We have a different language in the political realm. We have a different language in, like, it's different languages. Learn the languages, learn the culture of the language so that you can learn to write these proposals and go after this bag. So take that to one of them women that you want me to mentor.
You can mentor them that in your workshops. When you do your workshops, then that'd be fine. I
just did a workshop for Clayton County Fire Department. They get 3 continuing education units when they watch my workshop on mental illness, so that they can stop giving everybody Haldol, because that's what they do. Any person with mental health, they just give them Haldol and send them to jail. It's a medication, but it's like a tier 3. It's not safe to use. And for me, if you give me Haldol, I'm getting violent, letting you know, because that's not even for my diagnosis. But they give it to everybody that has mental illness. And they told me this, well, we just give Haldol. And I'm like, that's, first of all, you can't give somebody some medicine without their consent. You're violating HIPAA rights and all types of other rights. And then I created a quiz for them for continuing education. So if they watch my videos, they get 3 continuing education units and take my quiz through the Clayton County Fire Department. So I did that a couple of months ago.
Okay. All right. Well, Robert.
That's it, Robert.
Whenever you're ready.
No, y'all gonna stay on to 1:15. No. We'll do another commercial break and we're coming back then. We'll do that.
We're gonna start this game off right.
Hi, I'm Dr. Robert Bryant, and I'm running for Savannah City Council in the 5th District. Leadership requires dedication and commitment to a community, not the advancement of oneself or the catering to those who already have generational wealth. In the 5th District, we have issues, and I intend to address all of them, from the fairgrounds debacle to the redistricting of property to satisfy developers, to our history of flooding and our community services and stronger engagement. Our district is and has always been the heart of Savannah. We have too rich a history in this city to not have the proper elected representation needed to help us flourish. Our current representative has been distracted and lost sight of the issues facing the 5th District. The 5th District can't take 4 more years of someone who doesn't care about the constituents or their expectations. If you put your trust in me by voting for and electing me, I promise that I will be a champion of this district and for all of your concerns. The days of personal profiteering and ignoring the will of the people stops now. A vote for Robert Bryant is a vote for true change. From Tatumville to Liberty City, from Sylvan Terrace to Quail Forest, from Poplar Place to Burritt, all the way to our friends in Hampstead. I will be an advocate for your concerns. I'm Robert Bryant, and I approve this message.
Ivan, you need to stop bothering me. I didn't even write it. To be honest, I can tell you who wrote it, but I won't disclose the individual unless they want me disclosed. I didn't write that, Ivan. I promise you. But y'all, any final comments? Shantae, final thoughts?
Yeah, it's interesting when that commercial came up. I'm going to say this because I'm in Atlanta and Savannah, Chatham County politics don't impact me because I don't have any family in Chatham for any kind of retaliation. So, yeah. So your competitor, without naming the name, I'll say this. I am really disappointed inside of. I was raised non-denominational, and if my son did not have to cut off his dreadlocks for me to convert to the Nation of Islam, I would have probably have converted to being a Muslim a long time ago. So I'll say that. And I'll say that there is a certain proper protocol that comes with that and with women in that culture and with just the whole culture. It's such a beautiful, rich culture. It's like going to the Shrine of the Black Madonna and seeing the Pan-African movement. So I'm very disappointed to see your competitor behaving the way that she is. And I'm very disappointed to see her not engaged in the community. And I was with you at the Hunger Club, and I was very disappointed to see her not really want to speak to you. Like, there's a level of grace and class that comes with being a Muslim woman. So if she wants to send me something, she can send it to me because, my bank account is only what it is and I ain't got no lawyer. So she's going to be real disappointed. So, but I'm going to say that out loud. Like, there's a level of grace and class that comes with being a woman, period, a Black woman, second, and Muslim. Please walk in that and stop being childish.
She's not a Muslim.
What is she?
She's a Christian.
What is she?
She's a Christian. Her name just happens to be Shabazz.
I thought she was Muslim.
No.
Oh, well, that might explain some things. If you're scared, go to church.
Julius, final thoughts?
Well, y'all just watch the shows. We got 2 new little known Black History Facts, 5:00 tomorrow, from the hood to the pulpit at 6:00 tomorrow. Y'all don't forget 6:00 today. Watch Pastor Small's show. And 7:30 we have Straight Talk with Grover Thornton every second Saturday at 7:30. So y'all watch those 2 shows tonight. Watch a rerun of this, and we'll get with you next week. But make sure y'all watch and share.
All right, y'all. Well, we'll see you next week, next Saturday, 12:00 noon. Again on the Watch Dawgs. Y'all have a great weekend.
Go nowhere.
Like this. back to that.